First name, last name, and photo. Remember, that's the thing. Thank you, Stacy. It's a part of how I'm keeping myself safe. Growing up, those are the only people I ever associated with, even into my adult years. The only association I ever had with people that didn't live a normal life was when I was forced to. And now I'm coming out of that. And I'm coming back to normal. So I'm bringing my environment back to normal as best as I could. And I get better every day. I'm watching Let There Be Blood. I think the movie is about oil. Silver and gold, it says. Paul O'Connell, welcome to the broadcast. I broadcast a lot. Pretty much all day, every day. Some days I take breaks. Most days I take breaks. But I'm around when I'm around. Oh, that's even better than the other stuff. Oh my god, that's good. What else? How much to put like extra stuff in there? Oh, it's just a lot of salt. That's not a lot of salt. Yeah, this is actually really, really healthy. I will be keeping this and getting more of it. If anybody wants to send me more of this, thank you for sending this. Freaking delicious. Give me 1 second. Gotta get some Lysol. Spilled a little broth. As a matter of fact, while I'm at it, give me 1 second. Don't forget to follow. I'll be right back. Thanks. I'm sorry about being a little distracted. I'm just having to deal with some messages because I finally feel safe enough to like black girls again. So I like all types of women, but I just have a lot of people in my family who are really fucking racist. And even coming over here, it's like still tough, but I just have a lot of people angry at me right now for liking black chicks. And I followed some, and they're fucking pissed. Really fucking pissed. They'll get over it, but it's gonna take some time. Oh, contrary to the rumors that are out there, I did not ever either join a criminal organization, run with criminals in any way, shape, or form, or like I've never been in a gang or anything, and I didn't run with a particular group of people, even when they tried to force me to. I wouldn't do it. I lived. I was pretty cocky too. I was surprised I lived, because they were giving me shit for fucking with black people, and I was pretty much just like, you realize what a bad name you're giving for it. Like, you're giving us a really bad name by being that way. It's 2023, and like, it's time for us to evolve and mature and grow up. And honestly, not liking black people or like people of any other color really is the reason why people think like a lot of white boys are so stupid. It is. And we're not stupid. We're pretty fucking smart. We're actually I'm not being elitist, but we actually do statistically have much higher IQs. But that has more to do with like dominance culturally in history. And then it has to do with cultural appropriation more than it does have to do with genes. And the dominance has more to do, at least with most white people, the dominance had more to do with not happenstance, but just the flow of things, let's call it, over human history. We weren't just like, how do I put it? We weren't dominant because we're dominant. We were dominant by circumstance. We always had the upper hand and then kept the upper hand. And those tides are beginning to shift. But the biggest issue for my people is, as those tides shift, it's the difference between my kind of white people and the typical kind of white people is becoming more obvious. And it's a little bit of a stressor for my people, because we have managed to avoid war for like the entirety of our existence on this planet. We've always integrated. We've never like gone to war with people or anything. We move in and eventually, just take the beating and earn acceptance and then integrate. But like now we just, like I said, it's like we're trying to teach people, but people don't want to listen. But they're getting better. We're trying to find every possible way to educate them. But unfortunately, most human beings are warmongers and frickin' don't even care about each other. And some of us are starting to realize and wake up to how much they don't care about each other. And then they get really impressed when they do. Because it's adorable. It's so fucking adorable. How impressed they get with themselves when they care about each other, like in a momentary instance that is mostly based around their carnal instinct to survive. It's like they're not even actually going out of their way to care about each other. But they really do think they are. but they're getting better with it. Like they're actually starting to wake up to the fact that, like they're starting to see the benefits, and then it's not like it's not in their mind. It's just like, it's something that's not awake in their mind. And it's starting to wake up. Like these people are starting to wake up and realize, like, they're starting to recognize better tactics for survival and starting to be a little more social and less carnal. And, it's really good. It's a lot. It's good progress. So anyway, thanks, John. Yeah, it's not, and that's the other thing is, like, most of humanity sees things like as there's a possibility for superiority. It actually is a fallacy. Like there's biological superiority. There is, but that's not really being superior in an ethereal sense. Like you're not really actually the alpha or the dominant. Like we really are all equal. It's just really the concept is deeply difficult to accept as the type of creatures that we are. We are competitive creatures. So we don't really like to accept that we're all the same. We're like, no, we're not. Look at you. Look at me. Look at everything that's different. I'm like, motherfucker, we're the same thing. It's a big planet. Get over it. You just don't like the fact that we're that easily affected. We're so different literally because of where we grew up. It really isn't anything else. And you could slap the facts right in front of people, like scientific, biological facts. You can tell them what's running through their veins, compare it to the person standing next to them and what's running through their veins. Show them that is literally the exact same minus like 0.0000 something percent. And they'll still say, no, that's enough for me to, we got a problem. And I'm like, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, the fact of the matter is it is a big percentage comparatively, but it's not enough to make an excuse as to why we don't get along. Like I've had people come to the point of trying to convince me that they're like from other planets, and people who think they're like different species and like all this different stuff, just like maladaptive forms of attempted ways to confound our to expound upon their independence and their individuality, where the reality is, yes, you are your own individual, but you don't have to be coming up with all these fancy ideas. I mean, you could for the fun of it, but the moment you start telling me that that's really what you are, and we don't have enough evidence to prove that yet, it's because I care that I think it's important to slow our roll. So, for example, me personally, in my family, there's experience with certain things of a different kind of, like, just life was really weird for my family for a couple generations. And I'll talk about that. I've had that conversation, but I still sit here and be like, I still allow, even though the evidence says that the probability is that it's true. Nature is nature. Facts are facts. And based on what I have, I don't really acknowledge the possibility entirely. I kind of, like I said, like I step down to earth and be what I interact with what I consider to be common sense. Like in my own, like when I talk to myself, right? And I have conversations about like, what do you call it? Organizing my intellect and teaching myself, becoming self-taught, more self-taught. I make an effort to keep my feet on the ground because it's very easy, especially if you're intelligent, to go off into the clouds. It's far too easy. And you don't want to. You really don't. Maybe a flight or two, but make sure you come back down to the ground before the end of the day. That's all I'm going to say. Isha, welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for the follow. Oh, man. Yes, it is chicken broth, yes. It's bones. So it's like they take the chicken after they die, and they turn it into a liquid, like melt it into a liquid or whatever. Yeah, so I'm drinking a chicken. Very fancy. And it's organic, USDA certified. That's what I was thinking about going into. I was thinking about getting an education in agriculture because I feel like that would be a good idea. I'm probably going to end up homesteading at some point because if I went to another country, there'd be all these people trying to come onto my land. I'd have to kill a lot of people. I really don't want to. So, like, if I do it here in America, I could homestead and then I'm safe. And I could focus on, like, just the crop and actually just doing the job. Penny Lane, welcome to Biga. Yeah, but right now I'm dealing with a lot of old school traditionalist white men that I love that are having trouble accepting that I'm okay with and agree with equality being a thing. And the thing is, here's what happens. When you have enough bias that drives you to believe something, it becomes your truth. And eventually you don't know how to understand reality anymore. The reality is that we are equal. A lot of people have been convinced otherwise because of ways that they've been socially rewarded for their behaviors that do not line up with the natural order. They don't. So they believe they're right. They genuinely believe they're right. And in their mind, they are right from their perspective. Literally, like it's not possible to convince them otherwise because to them, it is the truth. So that's that. So I figure things are finally calming down and getting normal, and I'm getting into a routine and not freaking getting upset about stuff and being a little more responsible and mature. And I figure I could hopefully be a little more me. So I'm trying. See how that works. See how that goes. Thanks for being supportive. I'm not scared of a lot of people, but when a billionaire has the ability to get you put in jail, and then you find out he actually could put you in jail when like nobody could, makes you a little nervous. And people are like, "Ha, we got you." Like, I don't think you fucking understand. You are propagandized by the media you consume when it's baselined in the idea that every large thing is bad. And it's not that way. I'm a good person. I'm actually a really good human being. And I'm good to people. I really am. I'm extremely generous. I love people. I care. And my one flaw is that I pick on people a lot. Okay? Like, especially if someone antagonizes me, I'll freaking play with them a little too much. Myra, welcome to Bigo. Just give me $500 in cash right now, and I'll tell you where it is. But yeah, it was a big loss for like humanity when I got incarcerated. It was a big loss for everybody. And the scumbags got their day. But I worked it out, and even the guy who pulled the strings to get me put away, they caught him inside of a week, and he was put down like a fucking dog. So, you see, what people don't understand about the reality of things is the good guys don't make an example of anybody. We don't. You know, we handle business, and that's that. We don't frickin'... And that violation, it was a big deal because I hadn't been doing anything that was worthy of pulling me off track. The thing was, I was making a lot of good choices, but it's not like all my choices were perfect. And I had just at that point been so far out in the open that it's like every decision I was making was out in the open. And then you had people who were like hypocritical and judgmental, and you get enough of them, put them together, and they literally forget their own flaws and start focusing on yours. And it wasn't good. So eventually I called it, and there was a guy that was waiting to come off the planet anyway. So I let him do his worst. Didn't expect it to actually work out on his end, but it did, ironically, because I went with it. But now it's over. It's fine. He's dead. And, all I have left to do is move forward, build my life. Thanks, Paul. Never even met the guy. And that's what bothers me, That was the most dishonorable thing I feel that I've ever done. Is letting that man die. And I never looked him in the face a single time. And to some people, they're like, yeah, like that. What the fuck's wrong with you? No, like, death before dishonor. It's kind of a thing. And it's not a code that I live by for any reasons that have anything to do with anything other than what's between me and my God. I have a very, very individual, personal relationship with my God. And I don't involve anybody with my relationship with God. No church, no group, no friends, no family, no anybody. It's me and God. And I try to set that example for people. It's awesome to share your God. My God is a very selfish and jealous God. Very. And thus, I am very selfish and jealous with my God. I don't like to share my God. So, if you've ever heard the song by Bring Me the Horizon, what song was it? I don't remember the name of the song. But in the song, I had heard the phrase, hell is real, believe me, I've seen it. If heaven is real, let's keep it a secret. No one needs to know. And that sums up my relationship with God. I just don't like to share my God. I'll share everything else with you. But you try to come near my God, and I'll cut you out of my life like that. Sorry, got a little emotional there. Thanks for following along. But this is the most of my God that I've ever shared with you. I want to share more, but I don't feel safe to share more. I'm sharing more every day. Like you will find my God through me. Whatever I show you of my life is some form of reflection of my God. My next step, like I said, has been to be less racist, to not feel like I have to be racist and actually live the life that I want to be living, not a life that people are trying to force me to live and saying that they're going to throw me in prison if I fuck with black people. Because yes, that is what's being insinuated, and I can easily prove it. And I got a fucking problem with that. It's not the people I got a problem with, it's the racism. I don't need you to stop being racist. I need you to stop telling me to be racist and trying to coerce me to be racist. That's what I got a fucking problem with. Because you're manipulating my thought processes and changing me from who I want to be. Like, I don't have anybody trying to convince me to like people that aren't white. I don't. I'm not even kidding. And I choose to because to me it's common sense to just get along with everybody. When I look in the mirror, I know what color's there, don't worry. But you best believe I'm not dumb enough to fall for the idea that I could ever be superior to another person. It's not possible. There's always something, at least, if not anything other than down to the soul level, through your pineal gland, there's something somewhere in your body that says you are the same as the next person. And I listen to that. And when I trust that compass, I always go in the direction I'm supposed to. But you gotta follow your compass and it takes courage. It does. Take courage to follow your compass, because you're going to get pushback. You even get pushback from people that aren't like you. Like, I'm also having to push away, like, I'm having to fight off racists that aren't white. Like, people who are trying to give me shit for not being racist because they don't want me as a white person fucking with their people, like being friends with their people. Because I'm white, because they're racist. And it's really annoying. But I put up with it because that's what I do. I'm not a reactor. I'm proactive. And I'm not proactive on attack. I play offense, I play defense, I play the game. I don't take life. That's not who I am. And some people tried to force me, saying that they're teaching me their way. I learned a hell of a lot from them. I'm not going to lie to you. But they're not. That's not who I am. I got to stay true to my people. My hope and my prayer is that the people that I'm stepping away from can come to understand that I'm not betraying them by living the way that's true to who I am. I'm not loyal. I'm going to be real with you. I'm not loyal to the people that I'm stepping in the arena with. And I'm not loyal to the people that I was in the arena with. I'm loyal to my God and myself, and that's it. And any other loyalties are based on this physical life that we have, this reality. But I don't have no blood pact, no soul pact, no spirit pact with anybody, if you catch my drift. But in this life, I'm loyal to everybody. I don't care who you are. I'm going to find a way to love you, because that's what I learned from my God. And that's the way that I live. Some people say that's self-sacrificial. I disagree. It's very selfish. I've gotten a lot more out of it than I didn't. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Give you kid stories, I heard this morning somebody say, I'm pretty sure I heard them say, we're not in middle school, or you're not in middle school, or something like that. And I took that very personally. And I thought to myself, you know what? You're right. I don't think they were even talking to me. But, I overhear things and I ruminate on them, and I think to myself, and they're right. We're not in middle school. So this is why I'm approaching the situation this way, because we're not in middle school. And in the adult world, we get along. I mean, you go into business, you're not going to find anybody making money that's being a scumbag. You're not. Ever. So business has been a very, very big teacher for me throughout my life on social etiquette, behaviors, not just being polite, but maintaining respect. When you don't make money, when you're disrespectful, you learn to be respectful pretty quickly. Now, that wasn't me, but I noticed the more respect I gave, the more money I made. And more important than that money was what began to be for me was the relationships and friendships I began to build because of my willingness to be more respectful. And it went from respect got me money, to respect got me power, to respect got me relationships, to respect got me friendships, to respect got me family. And then from respect got me family to respect between family and my God. It continues to build my relationships with the people that I'm continuing to meet. I'm blessed and thankful that I could be, sitting at the precipice of different people's issues, and that they're not putting me in the middle of it in a way that detriments me. That's what I'm thankful for. I got so tired of people grabbing one of my arms and then the other person grabbing the other arm and tearing it back and forth. At least now the people that are fucking bothering me are just bothering me. And I think I've been underappreciative of the improvement. And how blessed I've been to be around better people now, and that I should start appreciating more. And I love the people that I was around before. Thank you. But I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. I'm not taking sides. I'm vocally communicating why I'm not around you anymore. And that is why. Y'all fought over me like I was a piece of meat. It was weird and uncomfortable. And now, it's like, no, it's just not that way anymore. I'm around people that want to be around me, not just because of what they could get out of me. And I'm learning to appreciate that far more, as I should. And I'm allowing myself to change into the person that does, in the ways that I have those temporary flaws from just things that I've never been taught because I didn't have that exposure. Not because people mistaught me in those ways, but I just never had the exposure, so I was overly selfish, to be totally honest. Jose Mendoza, what's up, brother? Step is a goat. He goes, no. I'm a human being. Thank you for that compliment. I definitely appreciate the sociocultural reference in the compliment. There was a day when I would have beamed and lit up so much further than even I am now to be receiving that compliment. Thank you. But even the goal of our predecessors is for us to progress, and I have I've grown up quite a bit further in those ways, and I'm very, very thankful for just everybody that's gotten me to this point. Internally, is like I've never valued myself internally to a level where it was more valuable than what I did on here, and now I do, and that really isn't thanks to most of you. So thank you for everything that you've done for me and for the person that you've turned me into, and just like the ways that you've affected my life and helped teach me how to do it for myself. Like there's a lot of growth that I've done on my own that I really couldn't have done without that support. So, I when I say support, I don't necessarily even mean like people going out of their way for me sometimes, but really sometimes is me recognizing those people are there at all. People are there for me, and that's enough sometimes to get me going, and to come out of the funk. And then having people that are willing to like, even push those boundaries sometimes, when some people will be afraid of me and like they want to help, but they think I'm like a wild animal and they think I'm going to react. But it's most of the time it's people being scared of me that freaks me out, because I'm not scary. And when people think I'm scary, it's like living my worst nightmare on the idea that I am scary. But most people know that I'm not. And even like I said, I am. When they tried to frame me and all that, things worked out for the best because it didn't last long. Most people saw through it. And I built a lot of rapport with both the criminal world and law enforcement. And that began to trickle into, the judicial system itself. And I gained a lot of respect with like judges and the DAs and, just word got around. So I was very thankful that, word of mouth spread, and I got a little bit of exposure in a way that helped people understand who I am. But what it really came down to and why they felt they had to do it that way was because like they had never really had any interaction with me, and I was that good at being off the grid. I was that good at like people not finding me, and even law enforcement, state police, like I said, FBI, CIA, you name it, I was able to duck them. And I wasn't doing it. I wasn't committing crimes. I was doing things that was out of their purview, like that our government hasn't caught up yet. And I wasn't privy to like be sharing that with us. And they're like, "Oh, you could, we're us." Like, no, you don't understand. Like, you don't have the ability to protect me if I share this with you yet. So like, I'll share it with you, but I have to do it in a way where I build it into the society. Like, I can't fucking just tell you or I'm fucked. Because there are people more powerful than you, and we need to change that. So, my opinion, I want the country I live in to be more powerful than any company that operates within the country. That's my personal preference. So, anyway, thanks for the hearts, Jose. And everyone, thank you. I'm waiting for it to say like 100 hearts, 500 hearts, because that's my favorite. That's what I love. I love the hearts. You ain't even gotta give me any beans. I like getting the hearts. I do. Because it continues the interaction too, and people start talking. But I gotta clean up. Give me 2 seconds. I just spilled a little bit. What do I use? Oh, that's right. I do have. Okay. Oh, buy this place. I'm sorry. Yeah, like most people don't know how many things come from the Nordic culture and from Scandinavia. I can tell you the historical biological reason why cats smell like fish. Like when they're not, you know. And it doesn't have anything to do with eating fish. Same with women, actually. I'm going to leave it at Scandinavians have the most powerful genes. And we eat a lot of seafood. But anyway, moving on. Oh, sorry. Just, can I do this? Can I get away with this? I probably could. What do you think? I shouldn't. Looks weird. It's just not my style, is it? I'm not changing until we get a comment. Fine. How's this? Is this a little better? Ooh. Ooh. I will also say something that is like playing devil's advocate and is going to piss off a lot of people. So, believe it or not, most religions are less racist than the part of the world that tries to claim not to be racist. Statistically. Pretty fucked up. Not written statistics, like real world statistics, not what we write on paper to make everyone feel better and to try and pump money into the religions. But yeah. I witnessed less racism when I was Catholic than I did out here in Los Angeles, California. Yeah. Kind of wild, if you ask me. No longer, doing the religion thing or anything. Don't identify as a Catholic. But I am blown away at how much more racism is out here in the real world. It's kind of deplorable. Now here's what I will say. Without the protection of particular organizations, it is more difficult to behave like you're in heaven, pun intended. It is more difficult to get along with everybody because your carnal instincts do kick in, and racist behavior is part of nature. Unfortunately, it is within our nature to, when we feel that our actual existence on the planet is threatened and our brain is operating on such a low level that we think that, like, we begin to believe that we are like a separate species, color by color, and then we are fearful of extinction. And that is essentially where racism comes in. Is fear for survival and a lack of survival on a level where we are almost extinct. And extinction can be brought down to an individual level. So like extinction doesn't have to be proprietary to the entire color. Extinction within the mind, as it exists as a survival conversation, like within oneself, it comes down to your existence, right? Do you have legacy? Do you have a child? Do you have parents? Do you have brothers, sisters? People that could survive you. and your gene set. If you don't, you are far more likely to appear as someone who is unintelligent, because those carnal instincts will kick in, and you will rely more on whatever it takes. Like, you will come down to whatever it takes to make a baby. Essentially is what it is. Like, if you're not going to survive, or you're pushed to the edge of your survival, to the edge of your survival, you are much more likely to be pushed to the point of making a child, of creating a child. Just by biology itself, you will naturally go and create a human, and you can't fight it. Like, literally, you can barely fight it. So, anyway, Fast Eddie, welcome to the broadcast. You also learn a hell of a lot when you're right in the middle of the situation that you learned about, or when it was done to you. But more on that later, in like 20, 30, 40 years. Once all those people are dead and the rest are incarcerated, and then the portion of us that have survived the fucking fuck up, and then the reorganization, could just have a nice little chat, write the book, if the AI lets us. Won't really need to. It'll all be recorded by that point, but my question is, what the fuck are we gonna do when it all does, when AI does take over pretty soon? Like, what's our fucking, what do we do with our lives? Do we just sit on the couch all day? I mean, I don't have a problem with that if that's like the future, but if it's not the future, I want to know what the future's gonna be. Because I want to do something if I'm supposed to be doing something. But I never in my life thought I would be in a position where people are telling me I'm doing too much. Past 3 years, everybody's telling me I'm doing too much. Ever since COVID, I'm doing too much. But I don't believe in too much, because 100 years before that, Rockefeller, Rothschild, you name it, there was somebody doing too much. I'm pretty sure they made a good choice. It's about how you go about it. I don't want to go about it the way that some of them did, but I do want to go about it. And I don't even really blame them for the ways that they became. It's, the reality is, they were psychotically, religiously manipulated, and it was the iteration of that. It was the iteration of the future within that generation. And now, we're the next generation, or we had another generation after that. Now we're we're the next generation. But the generation after that, did a pretty good job of organizing things. But our generation needs to mix things up a bit, just without fucking it up. We need to keep people healthy this time around. And I think we will. I think we'll do a pretty good job. They kept people alive. That was their job. Now people are alive because they put in enough work for like 3-4 generations, probably more. Now we need to keep people healthy. And I'm not saying that as an opinion within the order of society. I'm saying for the new world, we need to keep people healthy. And when I say new world, I'm saying this global society we're creating where we're all so connected. It's not some wild idea. We're living it. We're literally fucking living it. So you got to be there for people if you could be. But me personally, I will say, I would actually rather die than ever have to be involved in any of the drama ever again, or have to. I can put up with stuff coming my way, just as long as it's not too much, and I have my own personal space, because I know they want me to fucking. They want me to go do the rich and famous thing. It's what they want. Because everybody makes money if I do that. And so I'll do that. but like I think it's important that we continue to establish like the boundaries and like what I could handle, what I can't handle. And I have to admit to you, I'm a highly sensitive individual. I'm extremely high maintenance, but I'm worth the investment, you know. And it's only now that people are starting to come around and like, you know, they've been securing a lot of things and but holding on to their investments. A lot of people bought these past couple of years. Well, somebody was trying to buy in on me, and I'm like, look, I don't need, like, I can buy myself if we're literally going to have that conversation. And so I did. I brought myself out of it, and then I turned around and said, you know, I'll do it. I'll do what you're asking, and I'll do it for free. Just don't, you know, let me have creative control of my own movements within this system. And I will more than happily live the rest of my life doing this stuff with y'all, because I love it. I really do. You know, there's people who play the game, or there's people who are in the game, there's people who play the game, and there's people who run the game. Then you got people who make the game, and then you got people like me who love the game. The people that make the game choose to be a part of all that. The people that love the game, it's kind of like, it's a passion calling. Very similar to the people that play the game. It's like, they kind of have to, but they don't have to if they put enough work, but they choose to, right? Well, me, I don't have anyone else to answer to other than God. And with that being the case, I like to frickin' set the example and show to people, like, what we have here really is that good. Like in my opinion, like, my God is pleased. Like, my God is well pleased with what we're doing here and the way we're doing it, and that we're doing a pretty good job. I suppose most people may not agree with that based on whatever God they believe in or whatnot. But my God is very pleased with us. Even the worst of us, per se, because the God that I believe in doesn't really like see it that way. I just believe in a creator. I just believe in an ultimate creator. And like I said, I don't come to me like in a religious sense, or like, my point is, my God is the God that I believe in is only my God. I don't believe in a God that is the God of everybody. I believe in a God that is the God of me and my iteration of creation. And then that's my individual relationship with them. Should there be the possibility that they are the God of everyone, I'm never going to attempt to discern that. I don't want to know, because I don't have that relationship with anybody on that level like that. So all I want to know is what's going on between me and my God, and then in an earthly fashion, having conversations with each other. Those are my relationships with the people around me. That's my reality as far as the people around me, is that our relationships extend to the point of where, like, I don't believe that I'm ever going to die. I don't. Like, physically, maybe, but like, not eternally. And then as far as the people around me, I don't know if they're going to or not. I don't know anything about anything in reference to their existence in those fashions, because I see, like, my individual relationship with God, most people seem to have such a, like, they don't even have an ability to, like, read or understand. Like, they can't understand my God. So, like, in my relationship with my God, so I don't make an attempt to, like, articulate what someone else's reality might be in those ways. So I take it as far as, like, physical life, and that's the extent to which I could really, you know, grasp that concept. And I don't take it any further, because I feel like at that point, unless I'm requested to, or unless it comes up, or, you know, whatever it might be, because for the most part, it feels like I'm being insulting. And so, like, I really try not to. Anyway, so yeah, that's where things are at. And guys, you should see my hair, my skin, and my nails after a couple of days of drinking this aloe juice and having the broth in it and all that. And I'm eating, like, plant proteins and whatnot, and frickin', I'm glowing up. Like, my skin is so much healthier. I got more energy. Like, worth it. So what's going on with y'all today? I'm probably gonna charge it. I was gonna go broadcast outside and like hang out outside with my phone and like broadcast outside, but I'm not gonna broadcast outside because at that point I feel like I'm just taking over the situation and being a dick and putting myself out there in a way it's really not appropriate. It's really not. It's not illegal, but it's not against policy, but it's like not cool in respect to the people around me, who might not want to be heard on the broadcast or be around it at all, or like doing it in here. I'm thankful that I'm able to begin with, because it could be seen as kind of pushing it to begin with. So thank you for letting me. Really, that's why I named the broadcast. Thank you for. But I will say, in all seriousness, and I keep saying this, if you are not a person that could safely be in my broadcast with your first and last name and a photo, I recommend not being in my broadcast, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to say once a week. I'll probably go about once a week, and I'll have to block anybody that hasn't changed their stuff or has stuff where you got your first name, your last name, and your photo in the bio. And the reason for that is it's not like an identification thing. It really is I want to make sure that the people that I have around me are people that are safe to be around. And for me, a really good, factor, like me, I have my aliases. My aliases are for creative reasons. They're not, they're not like frickin', I'm not hiding from the government or the law. I'm not committing crimes. I'm not, I don't have a schizoaffective disorder or what have you. I'm not sure the names. I'm totally lying. I know all that stuff, but I don't want to freak you guys out. But the point of the matter is, if you don't look real, it makes me look really bad. And I can't afford to be associated with people who can't afford to be associated publicly, nor people who are going to make me look like I don't have healthy associations based on who's around me when I'm broadcasting and when I'm on broadcast, So yeah. I mean, here at this place, there's already word spreads fast in places like this, and they're trying to make sure that they're safe around the people that are around. I don't think people realize that with some of the decisions I've made, I wasn't signing into a different lifestyle. I really wasn't saying, when I say fuck the system, I'm not actually being literal. I'm saying if you want to play the game, play the game. I'm not saying world domination, I'm serious. And I don't think people realize that I wasn't meaning it that way. But yeah, I wasn't trying to get into things that I have no interest in. Never had interest in any of that. Still don't. And it took me 3.5 years to prove to people I was serious about it. Because they didn't believe me. They're like, you really look like you wanted to just fucking go wild. Guys, to me, wild means playing Scrabble with my shirt off, okay? I've done wild. I've done actual wild. But I'm saying when I'm being myself, Scrabble with my shirt off, okay? Let's not go out of proportion here. What do they say? What do they say about the women? They say, this is my attempt at humbling myself. But they say, poised it, so we could apply to guys, could apply to anybody, but poised in the streets, freak in the sheets. So when I'm out and about, I'm pretty good at taking care of things. When I'm in house, I'm calm, minding my own business. I like to just be this way. I like to be relaxed. But the two sometimes clash, when you end up with people around you that haven't realized that there's a chance that they could not have to live the life they've been living, unless they want to. Now this is something I never understood, but there's people that actually want wholeheartedly want to live a lifestyle of drugs. There are people who wholeheartedly want to be alcoholic. There are people who wholeheartedly want to be involved in crime. And those are not one and the same, by the way. Now, drugs, yes. Alcohol, like I said, different conversation. But I try to look out, and I don't judge. And when it comes down to it, as long as no one's coming into my space, then I don't really have problems. You know what I'm saying? So for me, like, I even said this yesterday, like, and they were listening over the mic, obviously. They always fucking do. But, like, and I wouldn't consider that a problem. Like, everybody knows. There's not anybody that hangs around me that doesn't know. Okay? So I'm not worried about it. But I am not law enforcement. Get over it. I'm not. And then there are people here. People will try to attack law enforcement by calling me law enforcement because, you know, I'm like, I look shitty or whatever. I don't know. Or like, I'm not put together the way that they are. Don't be doing that. I am not your weapon, and you are. That does piss me off. You don't want to piss me off. I'm friendly. I'm a friend. I'm someone you want to be around. You are someone I want to be around. Do not associate me inappropriately with law enforcement. Don't line me up with people who put most of their lives together in a fashion where they don't want to look like a guy like me. Okay? I'm not a criminal. Not a cop. Basic pseudo-citizen. Not even a thing yet, but I'll coin the term if someone doesn't put it on Urban Dictionary before I get there. Oh, guys, I tell you what, if I keep smoking the way that I'm smoking, it's gonna be a problem. Because I wanna go out and smoke, but I know if I do, like, it's a lot of fucking money. A pack of cigarettes is $14 fucking dollars. $14. Where I'm from, they're like $5. It's more than twice the fucking price. Sorry for the cursing. It bothers me, you know? And people be like, just quit. I'll tell you what. If you want to know the type of smoker I am, I walk on the street when I'm smoking so that it doesn't get in people's faces. And if the wind is blowing towards the people on the sidewalk, I will go walk on the other side of the street. And I do that even with a roof over my head. Like, not as a homeless person. I will still intentionally walk the street if I'm smoking so that it doesn't blow on people. Because I grew up hating smoking too. And smoking is the one reason I get, like, it really is the one reason that I socialize. And it gets me to go socialize. Smoking does. So. I need to socialize. It's the only thing I'm missing at this point is a social life. Money I can make happen. All the other stuff I can make happen. Socializing is something I need to learn how to do, which is why I'm like cutting myself off in the other ways while I force myself to learn how to socialize. Liberal education is key. Well, I'm gonna go for now. Take a little break, and I will come broadcast again. Oof. After after I go through my follow list and after I let my phone charge up a little bit. It might be later on the day, though.